Hi everyone, and welcome to Big Data Download, where we make sense of big data and put it to work for your business and your investments. I'm Courtney Reagan. Well, beer is one of America's biggest passions. It's also a multi-billion-dollar business. Today we look at some of the world's most popular brands and why they're feeling the love from experts and consumers alike. With us now to talk about the top-rated beers is Kevin O'Connor, CEO of FindTheBest, a data-driven site for consumers. Also with us is Lauren Lister of Yahoo Finance. Kevin, FindTheBest compiled a list of top-rated beers based on detailed reviews. Before we get to the list, tell us about the data you used. I mean, what are some of the specific beer qualities that reviewers focus on?
So broadly, FindTheBest, what we do is focus on providing consumers with the best ratings on products and services. We do it for over 500 different categories, and beer is one of those categories. And how you make a decision whether to buy a car or drink a specific beer or go to a particular college, it's pretty much the same process. What people want to do is, does that product, beer in this case, meet their requirements? So maybe they prefer a lager, or they want a low-calorie beer, or they're looking for a certain color of beer, or high or low alcohol beer. So we help them filter on that. Then we tell them what the experts think. And in this case, we compile a list of experts from the Beer Advocate and Rate Beer. And then we also compile a list from the users, our users. So we give them the quantitative analysis of the beer, as well as the sort of qualitative analysis for what the experts and users think.
Okay, so that makes sense. So now that we sort of understand how you've gotten to this list, let's run through some of the beers. Some of them actually, surprisingly, are not household names. So if you could give us the list and then explain what it is about the beers on the list that make them some of the best.
So, best is a personal taste. So, best can be different things for different groups of people. There's over 5,000 different beers. The beers that most of us are familiar with are the beers that have the biggest marketing budgets, right? So a lot of these beers are craft beers. They're not well known. And one of our goals at FindTheBest is to help consumers discover products and services based on the quality of the product rather than the marketing budget. So you have a lot of beers on there. Jackie O's from Mazatlán, Ohio, which is, the experts see as a great beer, but I had never heard of it. And then you also have very good rated beers like Pacífico that are very, very well known, or Michelob Ultra Light. Great beers, and they also have big marketing budgets.
So Pacífico and Michelob Light making sort of the very tops of the list. I mean, what kind of challenges do the lesser known beers actually pose for bigger beer companies like Anheuser-Busch, Molson Coors? They're spending so much money on marketing. Do they need to be worried about these craft beers that consumers seem to really like?
Well, the beautiful thing about the internet and sites like us, they allow discovery, more easy discovery. So we give them a channel. It's not based. We cover all beers. We don't take money. There's no paid placement to get into our system. So it allows consumers to find these beers, and then word spreads very quickly on the internet. So you don't need to have big marketing budgets. A bigger challenge they have is distribution, though, getting distributors to deliver them 7-Eleven or to the various bars. But the craft beers. Every craft beer's goal is probably to become a large international brand.
Very interesting. So Lauren, Yahoo web search trends tell us what consumers are interested, sort of maybe a different level. What are the most searched for beer brands according to Yahoo's data?
The most searched for brands over the last month are many that you will have heard of, not some of the ones on your guest list. So number one is Pabst Blue Ribbon PBR, which is kind of a hipster beer, but nonetheless known to be very cheap. So perhaps that's why the mass audience is searching for it and why it appeals to them. Budweiser, number two, of course, a household name we all know. Foster's, owned by Miller Coors, although it's Australian for beer. Number four is Blue Moon. That's interesting because that would fall in more of the crafty category, although critics say, hey, you can't be a craft beer if you're owned by Miller Coors. Miller Coors disputes that, of course, but Blue Moon, for its part, has been taking a large leap in terms of market share of the craft beer space with sales that would amount to 15% of it. So it's certainly been doing well. It's a wheat beer, maybe you know it. And number five, a name we all know, Heineken. So it's mostly the names that are household names that the Yahoo web searchers are going for, or the cheap beers.
That seems to make a lot of sense. I actually just visited the Anheuser-Busch, I guess it was their brewery tour in St. Louis. So lots of fun, lots of interest for beer around the world and in the U.S. Thanks for joining us, both of you. For Big Data Download, I'm Courtney Reagan. Have a great day.